Last week we were really talking about allowing yourself to blossom. And the call was so rich. And when I got off the call, I just felt like I really didn't get enough of that conversation. I think we should keep that conversation open and keep progressing in that direction. That's what I was kind of thinking. And so, what came up for me this week around allowing myself to blossom was really recognizing partnership. Like people come around and they want to offer you some type of information to help you progress or some type of support, companionship, help, or anything like that. A lot of times, our damage about the past doesn't allow us to let the person in and help us or to you know, partner with us in a way that's really powerful and could be great and filled with love. A lot of times people say they want a love relationship, but then great people come around who are interested and who are sending a lot of signals to them or, showing in many ways that they're interested in having that with them. And the people just don't know how to allow it. Yeah. And then too, I was thinking before that, when we were speaking on staying someplace too long, sometimes that's a little bit like not allowing yourself to blossom because some people too could be on jobs or in a career or something like that that's not fulfilling to them. And then there are tons of opportunities all around for them to progress in the way they would like to, but they just don't make a move. So that's what relationships too, that's with self too. Because I was on a group and the lady said she wanted to lose weight. So she said, what should she do? And that was nice that she came on the group and asked for advice for how to move forward. So I'm hoping that all the advice that people gave her, she would use it and just move, right? Because some people will receive that and then they won't move. And then you see them next and it's like, oh, how's it going? Oh, well, I didn't really get a chance, or oh, I didn't really start, or something like that. So like, yeah, like, you have the information, you have the love around you, you have the support. Allow yourself to blossom inside of that. Yeah, what y'all think?
Oh, definitely. I'm going through a situation now where my wife is starting a business. And, I'm trying to be as supportive as I can. But at the same time, um, it's her starting this business is really has uh, forced us to really be real with one
Yeah.
another and to be present because stuff from the past has popped up. Uh, it's almost been like you know how you buy a house together or
Uh-huh.
you remodeling. You know how people break up a lot of times behind remodeling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, and
I surely didn't know that.
it's been like that with this business because it's stressful. You know, we're a one income household now, and but I'm really amazed at the fact that she can stay focused and motivated. Uh, and that's been my biggest thing is I'm like, okay, I got you 100% backing you 100%, but please find something that you um, can stay motivated with, that you feel proud of, that you really want to do. And that you're not just doing it because it's the latest thing. It's just something I just want to make money off of, but just something that you really have some kind of passion around, and that you really want to change the world with, in other words. Because, and I told her this up front, I said, because you're talking about starting a business from scratch, it's going to be a whole lot of times where you're going to feel like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I'm going back to work. and I can say that she has found something that she is passionate about, and it's been able to sustain her getting up every morning, going through her rituals and routines. And it's really been interesting to see, and there have been it is bearing fruit as we speak.
That's good.
It's starting to bear fruit now, and it's very interesting because the advice that you could give other people, the advice that I would give other people who are starting a business from scratch, is that basically it's a war of attrition, because you look around and there are a lot of people that are going to start the same time you start, but as you go on, folks are just going to start dropping off and dropping off. So basically, it's who's the last man or woman standing. I mean,
Like
really
you said, you have to be committed to it. But what does that look like in the world of allowing yourself to blossom?
Pardon?
That, yeah, you're right about that. And what I'm saying is, what does that look like in the world of allowing yourself to blossom?
Oh man, you got to have faith. You got to have faith. You can. I mean, the fear can. Well, I think a lot of people are just overcome by fear. They don't allow themselves to blossom because the fear just takes over. I mean, it's you stepping off that cliff, that 9 to 5, or that whatever it is that you're trying to do, and whether it's starting a business or learning a new language or taking up whatever. A lot of times people, it's just fear. But at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? Really? I mean, really, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. That came up last week. People said, acknowledge the fear and do it anyway. It was George. He came up with the word of the day, was courage. And I think we're going to keep that as a reminder. Courage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I think a lot of folks, especially if it's the leaving the job piece, if it's the leaving the job piece, I think a lot of times people are just become sick and tired. They can't do the job anymore. They physically are ill of staying on that job, no matter how much it's paying. Because when you're sick of something, it doesn't matter how much it's paying. You just can't do it anymore. And that's the situation that she found herself under. And everyone around her was saying the same thing. How could you walk away from all that money?
Yeah.
Have you lost your mind? Is everything okay?
So I'm hearing allowing yourself to blossom regardless of things like money. Whatever speak into your heart, allow yourself to move forward with it, whether everything is lined up or not, whether there's money in it or not. Because I find that when you do that, money comes later. Everything you need, the convenience, everything you were searching for, it just gets added later. It just gets added. The universe will add it.
Yeah.
You ever find that?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Cousin Tony. What you got, Divine? I see you.
So this week, I have a camera, and
You to a photographer, Cousin Tony.
I just finished the shoot. Okay.
Look at that.
So I have a camera. I've had it for years. Years ago when I was living in California, I would go to the studio and take shots. Most of these was boudoir shots. But I don't want to do photography for money. But I'm hearing a lot of people say, oh, wow, this is good. This is so good. You can make money with this. Everything I do, I try to somehow becomes about money. And I wanted a hobby that I enjoy, something that if I take your picture, if it comes out good, it comes out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm having fun and I'm enjoying the fun. because everything I do is always, it ends up being about the dollar. So, you know, I'm still getting the message where, you know, you could do this, you could do that. And I'm taking some of the message where, well, yeah, if I could put it in a photo book, like Tonyah said, and my lady said, you know, these are not bad. You can put them on a postcard and send them to other people, to
Yeah.
clients, to show them some of the waters. Because now I've been doing a lot of nature shots and landscape shots. But again, the blossoming part is, you know, listening to other people's advice was still within reason that this is still my hobby. This is still my fun. If I make $5, $2, who cares, you know, about the money, because it's not something I want to pursue as a career. Now, I won't lie, I have invested a lot of money into the hobby, as far as lenses and education, because anything that I undertake, I like to, you know, dig deep into it till first it's just point, or play with the computer, whatever I'm doing. But then I want to learn after I've already took some stuff, like, why am I doing this? What is this? How should it be done? And then find my way where, yeah, I hear that's what you're saying. That's how you should shoot that picture, or that's how you should write this application, or this is how we normally sell a home, or whatever the case may be. But the blossoming part to me comes out in, you know, taking advice from other people and at least hearing what other people has to say, and, you know, taking the best part of what they're saying, but still keeping your truth is square, where here's my bottom line. This is not going to be about finances. This is going to be about getting away from the noise that I hear on Facebook, because kind of how it started was, I know a lot of people, and I don't want to be totally on social media, but I hear so much politics. And my mindset says, if we was at a dinner table, if we were somewhere else, I would not want to hear politics, wrong or right, be it Biden, Trump, I don't care. That's not what we want to talk about in a social environment.
Yeah.
So now, me posting pictures and people talking about pictures, like, oh, wow, that's a nice picture. I like the way you edited. That's a nice conversation that allows me to be humble and, you know, feel good. Like, oh, really? You think that's a real good picture? Wow, I don't do this. I'm an amateur. This is definitely not what I do. I'm not competing with the pros, you know. But if it's good, I will take that and I'll be humbled by it. So just allowing myself to take those compliments that normally I would be like, nah, that's not what I do. That is not good, you know, and just accept what other people are saying versus me pushing off and saying, no, I'm not going to do it. That's my short, long spiel.
No, that was good. And what I'm hearing is allowing it to go where it's going, and also allowing yourself to be with constructive criticism, because I think many of us, we have things that we're doing that we don't know that we do, that may be keeping us from moving forward in the way that we're looking for. And people around us, if they know our plan, they may be able to see something that we may be doing that may be keeping us further away from accomplishing our goal with that plan. And they say something, like you said, they give a little constructive criticism, but for some reason we don't allow ourselves to take the criticism. Yeah, that's real good. Thank you. Constructive criticism and allowing things to just go the way that they're going. You don't have to push them. You don't have to have expectations about them.
Right.
And just, yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. Anybody have anything about that? Hi, Carl Davis. Open your mic, whoever it is. Tony, Divine, open your mic.
I was
Okay,
raising my hand.
Yeah, I wanted to say real quick. Yeah, what you said was very key. That comes up a lot. being an amateur photographer and being a professional photographer, they're two very different animals. And a lot of guys and ladies come into this the hard way. A lot of people figure, oh, I have a camera, I like shooting, I can make money at this, I want to be a pro. Then they find out that once you turn pro and you turn it into a business, you're doing a lot less shooting and a lot more business.
Right, exactly.
So if you want to, and it's hard, it's difficult. I've had hiatuses where I didn't want to shoot anymore, and then I had times where I only shot for money. I would never shoot just for my own enjoyment, and I had to get to shooting for my enjoyment because I had actually lost the love of photography because I spent so many years just shooting for money, for other people, in other words.
Exactly.
And I, maybe 5 years ago, I came back to loving it again. But yeah, they're two different animals, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, just like with, just because you love to cook doesn't mean you need to open a restaurant, or you like to paint. Yeah, you're going to become a professional painter, really. But yeah, but one thing that you can do for passive income is join one of the services, and I forget what you call it. My mind is leaving me, but you know what I'm talking about, where you can the stock. You can do stock photography. Yeah, send that in. There is actually, I don't have their name on my front of my mind right now, but they specifically are looking for African American images of all types. And
Well,
right
it would be
now,
great if you guys could connect after this, so that we can
definitely.
maybe put your number in the chat or something like that for him. Or
We'll do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
Cousin Tony, if you want, I can share your number with him or something like that. Whatever you want.
Yes, please do.
Okay, that would be good. I've known him since the 4th grade.
Oh, okay.
He's good people. Yeah. So yeah, that's what allowing yourself to blossom. Anybody have anything about that in regards to relationship to self? Self-care, there's so many different levels to the self-love piece, right? Or the relationship piece. Because however our relationship is with ourselves, it will be similar or the same in our relationships with others, even if they're coworkers or neighbors or anything like that. So really, like, I started this series so that people could get close to the answers about what may be keeping them from attracting the love that they're looking for. And it always starts with self. So we kind of hear the self-love portion of it because I always feel like that's the beginning. So most of the things that I came up with speak to how can we open up that area of self-love and deepen our connection, with self. And to me, I'm a ritual person, a regimen person. So I always feel like there are rituals and regimens that we can put into place for ourselves and tailor to ourselves because things will keep changing as we progress. So we have to have the wherewithal to acknowledge that and be willing to put in, what should go in at that time and be okay with the flexibility of it all and any type of unexpected change. And so I like what Divine added today is lessen your expectation of the outcome. Just be in the moment, be with whatever it is, let everything form organically, and, always listen for clues that are around you that are there to help you grow. I mean, I like it. I'm paraphrasing, but I heard that's what you said. Clues are all over the place, or how they say success leaves clues, right? So yeah, there are clues, there are people around. You know, a lot of people say they want a relationship and they said they're not meeting anybody, and they all have people all around them that are interested in them, that want to go out with them and take them out and stuff like that. I had a guy who was my friend, and he came to my house every Sunday for years. When I tell you how many years, it had to be at least 17 years when I said something to him. He came every Sunday for a haircut, to eat food, because you know I'm an old school person. I like to cook every Sunday. So he used to visit his parents, and then he used to come and visit me and the kids. So I guess that was his Sunday thing. Maybe one of these days you'll see him on here. And so one day, you know, I was talking, he called me, and I was out in the street shopping, and he said, "Where's my daughter?" And so I said, "Oh, she's away for 2 weeks at cheerleader camp." And I heard the whole tone, energy, everything change on the phone with him after I said that. He said, "Oh, well, what are you doing tonight? You want to go to the beach?" Because he knows that I love the beach, and I especially love the beach at night. And that was my beach buddy. We would go to the beach and we would drink beer, and then, you know, there's no place to pee, right, when you drink beer. So then we finding some weird place to pee. He's hiding me, I'm covering him and everything. We cackling. And that was just like my really, really, really good friend. And so when he said, "You want to go to the beach?" I said, "You know what? Yeah, maybe." He said, "Well, go home and see how you feel and everything, and I'll pick you up if you want to go." So we went to the beach. We got back because they closed the beach. It was gentrification. So now the beach is different for us. And we left. We were like, so we went to my house. We were dancing with loud music, drinking our beer at the house. And then when he said he was ready to go, I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't think you should get in your car. You don't look like you should be driving. You have too many beers to drink. And he said, "Yeah, maybe you're right," and everything like that. And so I said, "Just stay here and stuff." And I was like, I got sleep with me in my room and everything. And he was looking, and I was like, "Hey, what's that look? I never saw that look before." It was a different look came out. And so he said, "Girl, I've been waiting for this my whole time I knew you." I said, "Who leaves themselves in the friend zone for 17 whole years?" I never even heard of that before. 17 years before he said anything. So how many of us have people around that are in our school or at our job, or that's just been our friends, that they may be sending signals and clues and everything all the time about being interested in a relationship, but we just never saw that, you know? Yeah. So that was my little share about allowing the people around you to show you that they're interested, and allow yourself to be interested back. And allow yourself to just, you know, like he said, take in the moment, go to the beach, come back, you know, dance with loud music, drink too many beers, whatever, you know, see where it goes. Okay. So what you got? Hey, Joseph, how you doing?
Hey, Tonyah, my daughter is here and she's having a good time, so I'm going to keep it on mute the whole time.
Okay.
She said, yeah.
Love it. All right.
Okay. But
All right.
no, thanks. So I'm glad I'm on.
No, thank you. You're welcome. All right. So, yeah, how you doing, Sister Carla? I can't see you. What you got? What you got about that? Nothing? All right. We'll come back to you. Morgan, how you doing today? You look so nice with your hair and everything. You look so shiny and
thank you. Hi, everybody.
Did you get my yelling? I was yelling at you. Did it come across? Let me see.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, good. So you got anything about that? We're talking about allowing ourselves to blossom, and then what that looks like in terms of relationship to self and relationship to others and everything like that, you know? What you think?
I think that in the world that we live in, a lot of times we hide our true self for acceptance.
Mm.
And I think that, especially for those who have feelings of abandonment or have issues being accepted, like by their parents when they were younger and given really space to grow, I think that manifests in adulthood as stunting your own growth. And so you almost have to give yourself permission to be great. You have to give yourself permission to love yourself. You have to give yourself permission to be okay with loving someone else. And I think that really stems from how our parents loved us as children. So if you grew up in a household that, you know, don't do that, or don't do this, or you're very outspoken, don't talk back to your teacher, don't talk back to me, look me in my eye up 100% of the time. Like, even though respect is important, an outspoken kid would be an amazing lawyer. An outspoken kid could be an amazing entrepreneur. An outspoken kid could be an amazing politician. But when parents and relatives and friends of the family um, really dampen those things, like I said, we become adults stunted in some ways. So you have to give yourself permission to be who you really are. And then when we relate it to love, you know, allowing yourself to love yourself with all of your flaws. So for me, a few years back, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And for me, it was very hard to love that person with the disorder because I presented very differently than I did before I was diagnosed. Even though I wasn't unmanaged and unmedicated and really not well, I still loved myself, and I loved the things that I could do. And I loved that I could stay up days and days and days and not need rest. And I loved that I was always the bubbly person. And I loved that, you know, I could manage multiple things in multiple businesses. It was one point where I was like playing 20 chess games at a time. Like, I loved what my brain could do. But on the other side of it, you know, with, okay, well, I'm having trouble sleeping, and I'm having trouble self-starting, and I'm having trouble processing my feelings. I'm having trouble communicating. I'm having trouble with delusional thoughts. Like, so on the other side is like, how can you love this person that looks nothing like the person that you've always been? And so I had to go through somewhat of a grieving process to let go of who I even believed that I was in order to accept and to love the woman that I am. And it wasn't until that I truly loved the woman that I am that I was able to attract the type of love that I needed and, wanted in my life. So acceptance is incredibly important because if you're not accepting of who you are, not only can you not properly love yourself, you can't truly give love to someone else. So it's very important to allow yourself to blossom.
That's beautiful. And your contributions are always so rich. That's why I can't wait to call your name and see what you're going to say. And, you know, you hold the energy of such an amazing person, but somebody who's really big, you know, enormous, like somebody who really has something to bring to the world that would reshape the world.
Thank you.
I get the chills. So just, let's talk about that off thing here. Like,
Thank you for sharing that, because that actually hit home what you said about, you know, I love my mother to death and the upbringing, but I was that outspoken child. I was everything you just said. And even today as an adult, I'm always afraid. Be careful what you say. Don't say it like that. Even in relationships, you know, I'm scared because, and wow, that was deep. That just hit home. That really hit home. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, and it shows up. Damn, that was deep.
Thank you.
And you know what happened to me when she said that was remembering, Divine, what you said about constructive criticism, and that people who are with you or around you that love you and they know how you're trying to grow, they will say something, and how you receive what they say, will determine how you grow, right? So I had a boyfriend one time that he was leaving to go somewhere, and I must have said to him, "Where you going?" or "Why you leaving?" or "What time you coming back?" or something like that. And he turned to me and he said, "Yaya, you got abandonment issues." They call me Yaya. That's my nickname with my kids and everything. He used to call me that. "Yaya, you got abandonment issues. You know that?" And I said, "No, I didn't know that." I said, "But you know what? that would make sense. And then he said, yeah. He said, we're going to talk about it when I come back. He said, I got to go and I'm going here. He answered me everything so that I could be comfortable, because that's just the kind of man that he was or is. You know, and when he came back, we got into a really good, amazing, you know, deep conversation about why he said that and what he saw in me that I never even saw or knew about before he said that. And I was a grown woman in my 30s when he said that to me. And I had never considered it before that, you know? And so, but once he said that, I took that and ran with it, trying to find every way, you know, that I could get that cleaned up. And I really told him I respected him and I appreciated him for loving me in spite of. Sometimes men can see something like that about you and they'll run away. They can't be with it, right? Or it puts too many demands on them or some type of pressure on the relationship that they can't handle, you know. Lucky for me, he was a super alpha male, and that's usually the type of men that I attract, and that's usually the type of men I'm attracted to, super alpha males. And the universe always sends me them, and then the universe takes them away at the appropriate moment too. So you know, I'm learning to be with that and not have anything about it. When it's time for them to go, it's just time for them to go. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Yeah. So thank you for allowing me to be this vulnerable with all of you at this time. Really, you know? Yeah. What you think, Cousin Tony? Press unmute.
Unmute. Okay. Now I was just thinking about when Sister had mentioned it about being stunted. You know, I'm old enough to remember what old folks used to say: children should be seen and not heard. You know, and that's something that they just said. And you were to be seen and not heard. I mean, and they didn't mean to stunt your growth, but unintentionally, sometimes they did.
Yeah.
That's what came to my mind when Sister was speaking. And you have to unlearn certain things. You have, in order to open yourself back up to possibilities in life, you have to unlearn all of these habits that you were taught, as a child by adults. They were well-meaning, but at the same time,
I'm going to share something else. And Divine, I'm going to share something that you've known me since I was about 10 years old, right? And we're over 50 now. But this was happening before I met you. So when I was about 6 years old, or going to be 7 or something like that, I remember moving away from my family because my mother has 13 siblings and we always lived near each other, with each other, all of that. And we moved, my family's from Brooklyn, and we moved to Queens for Rockaway. And we didn't have anybody there, know anybody there, whatever, right? And my mother took me to my new school on the first day. And I remember walking there and everything and not having a care in the world, just being 7 or 6 or whatever I was, and going, to the new school with my mother. So when I got there, my mother said, okay, I'll see you later. I can't come pick you up. Here's a key. And she took a key on a string and shoestring and put it around my neck. And she said, don't lose the key. She said, when you leave the school, just get in the crowd of kids and walk. Because when you get home, call my job. I left the phone number and everything next to the phone, and call me to let me know that you got in. And I don't know if any of you have ever had children or took care of children. Think of a child who's 6 or 7 years old. I had 2 kids and I couldn't imagine doing that to them at that age. In a new place, I don't know people, we don't know the area. What? So when she was saying everything else, I probably was not even listening. She lost me at, I can't come pick you up. And I was being with, what if I lose the key? What crowd of kids is she talking about? I didn't even look to see how we came here. Which way should I even start going when I leave? And the whole day in school was a blur to me. I cannot tell you what I ate for lunch that day. I can't tell you anything about what did I learn or anything. All I remember is feeling so cold, like it was the coldest feeling. I could not get warm. You could have given me 50 sweaters and I would still feel that chill. Okay. And even when I tell the story, I could still have that experience of how I felt that day. So in my mind, I made it up that this person does not care about me. This person does not know what they're doing with me. I'm a kid. I'm 7. This person cannot be trusted any longer after today to make any type of decisions concerning me or anything like that. I can't listen to them. So after that, I stopped listening to my mother. And then it extended with me, stop listening to my family. So my family used to say stuff to me, oh, don't do that or don't go there. And I used to say stuff back to them at 7 years old, fuck you, shut up. Okay? I used to say stuff like that to them. And they never beat me. They never tried to remove that. They never did anything with that. And I would be talking to people all crazy, 8, 9, 10, 11. You know, the longer you let that go, the worse it gets. So I grew up as a person who just said shit to people. Okay, whatever it is, that's what I'm going to tell you. That's what I'm going to say, because my family never said to me, hey, don't say that. Or you're not supposed to talk like that to people. Okay, so I never got it beaten out of me or anything. So I think, you know, like that's beautiful, I think, to a degree. Like my family said, oh, that's just how she is. Don't bother with her. She's gonna talk like that. She just do that. That's what they used to say when people say, hey, like, did she just say, well, yeah, don't worry about her. She just talk like that. That's what they used to do. Okay. So, you know, I think there's still an element, you know, that I fight with, you know, when something comes up, I say shit to people and they're like, who, what, did you just say that to me? And I'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it never got dealt with. So I'm dealing with it now as an adult, trying to scrape out something that has been there for a long time. And it's harder to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anybody got anything to say about that? I see you smirking, Devon. What you, what you?
My mother, you would got tore up. That's the whole
also, you are not talking to Teresa and cursing like that.
I couldn't say lie, so
it's not happening.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Every time I bring a person around, that's my new friend or something like that, or business associate or somebody, love interest. My family loves to come up with those stories. Oh, let me tell you how she used to be, and try to embarrass me and tell all the stories when I used to cuss people and didn't listen to them. They always should bring those stories up to embarrass me, and it works. Oh my goodness. Hi, Loretta. How you doing? Allowing yourself to blossom is the topic. Let's get with that.
I think that I'm learning to do that. Sometimes I get annoyed and I feel like I'm being attacked. But then again, there's always a different, because the way that I'm seeing it, I'm sitting in the seat as being the one that's being attacked. May not, I have to learn to be more open to listen to what they're saying. It may not always be an attack. You can try, you just
Consider
try.
that it's never an attack. Like I took a course in miracles, and the course in miracles always outlines that there's no such thing as attack thoughts. Attack thoughts come from like our own perception of something and how we view it and would like to engage with it, but we project and think that the other person is doing it instead of ourselves. But that's a whole nother conversation. Well, I'm gonna say that if we don't have any, Joseph, you have nothing.
I'm just gonna be straight honest. Oh, so first of all, my ex sent me a message about a video she thought I should watch, and something to do with Amy Schumer and her husband is on the spectrum, like, you know, Asperger's, autistic, and, you know,
Oh,
I wish I knew. I think maybe you are like that, and if I knew it would make a difference, you should go get yourself checked out. And I have, my son is like that, and my father was a bit like that. Not my grandfather. Most of my family, like my brothers and sisters, they're doing well. But I listened, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go check that out. I'm gonna go check out to see, because obviously, if I'm dealing with something, others are gonna see it, not me. So I actually said thank you, and she said, "Oh, okay. I thought you're gonna get upset at me or something," but I said thank you. I will go check it out. But I also noticed when Morgan spoke about self-acceptance, anytime I go to Zoom with friends or anything like that, I used to have a different chair, so I was higher, and I'm always like this. You can't tell I'm bald, and I'm having a problem today. I'm trying to
no,
do
but
this.
this looks good. This
I
is
know, but no, I don't think so. I know.
no, you always look so nice on camera. Your skin is shiny and beautiful.
Thanks.
Look, me, I'm here in
my
pajamas
mind.
today. I'm here with my pajamas today with a shawl on because I just didn't feel like being bothered. I got up, I took a shower, I put some new pajamas on, and I just came to the call with pajamas today.
No, but it helped when Morgan said, thank you, that helps too, but it helped when Morgan said, because I think I need to block my bald head. Like whenever I'm on.
No, this looks great.
Yeah, I'm self-conscious about it. I'm insecure about it. But although people say that, that's probably, I remember I really hated it when my father gave me a short haircut when I was a little kid, because that was a religious thing to do. And once in camp, when someone called me baldy, it was like the worst thing ever. So I think it's like still, it's like, yeah, the noises are, you don't look good yet. And I just, after she did, I gave up. I'm not going to get a different chair. I'll just be the way it is. So
No,
more
this is
thank
good.
you. I'm just going to stop and all the Zooms. I'll be a little more free because I'm not going to be worried.
I'm going to give you a joke. I didn't know about the short haircut being religious, right? So when I went one time to get a job at Supercuts, it was near 102nd Street and Broadway, and I didn't know that they had a Hasidic community in that area, 102nd and Broadway. So the first day that I got there, I had a Hasidic man and his son. They came in my chair. So I asked the man what kind of haircut would he like, and he said, "Do whatever you want, just don't cut off the 2 curls." So I said, "Okay." So we were talking. I got to ask them everything about Jewish religion, and it was amazing. And then by the next Sunday, there was a whole row of Hasidic men and their sons all across the waiting area. So the boss manager, she finished her haircut first, and she went to the first Hasidic man, and she said, "You can come next. I'm ready." And he said, "No, I'm waiting for her." He pointed to me. And then she said, "Oh, okay." And she went to the next man, and he said, "No." And they all aligned. They were waiting for me because that father that I had the first time with his son went to his community and said, "Go to Tonyah. She's going to cut your hair. She cuts it nice." And I gave him that haircut. It was real short and nice and everything. But I didn't know that that was how you cut your hair. It was just instinctual, right? That I would cut.
Yeah, it looked weird because it was short everywhere, and then there's a patch here and patch here. I didn't have the curls, but it was a patch. So imagine what it looks like it's bald and the patch. So now I give it by choice. It's not a religious thing. Actually, religiously, I gotta keep more hair. It's not. I don't have a religious haircut, and the beard is by choice too.
It's fabulous.
But it's the front that I was. concerned about. But no, I'm surprised because Hasidic people wouldn't have their son get a haircut by a woman. That's a big thing. You must have accomplished something huge.
Ah, thanks for saying that. And it was father, son, father, son, father, son sitting in a row there. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, you must have had a certain respect or something. You listened to them, I guess.
Yeah, and it was a really great report from the Jump Street, and I think they liked the questions I was asking and the dialogue we were having together and everything while the haircut was going on. And it probably helped them that I was looking like this with a skirt, with a shawl, with a long skirt, you know, or something like that. If I was thinking back what it could have been, you know, but I think even my modest way that I used to dress at that time probably looked familiar to them. Could have been many things. Who knows? When the universe puts people together, we don't know. Yeah, but don't worry about it, bro. You looking sharp. Carla, there you are. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing well. How are you? How's everybody? It's good to see everyone.
Doing great.
Yes. I heard us talking about criticism, and I do struggle with criticism.
Constructive criticism, not criticism.
Oh, constructive. No, I love constructive criticism. I struggle with criticism, though. Criticism that is unfounded and brute. But yes, constructive criticism is right on point. Yeah.
And consider that the other criticism is not constructive and brute. That's your view. You see what Joseph said, that the woman said something to him and he chose how to view that. So
right.
That's what I'm saying, that things are available, but we don't take them as available because we see them as not available because our view. Like some could be partnership, but because of how we view partnership, our limited view on partnership won't allow us to see the partnership that actually is available.
Well, that is something that I'm still very much working on. That ego, you know, feeling like your ego's being bruised. You know, I'm still working on that, and I feel like when I get to that point where I'm feeling really good, then something will happen. It's that entanglement, that ebb and flow. And when I get to the down point, then I feel like, oh man, you know, I start beating myself up. So I have to remember self-compassion. I have to really remember self-compassion. I have to work on practicing it every moment, because I do fall into those extreme highs and extreme lows.
That's good. I like when you say compassion, because what happens is when we don't have compassion for ourselves, it's absent in our relationship with others, but we don't see that until the person presents it to us. You being with me, you're not having compassion for me. It's not the other person, it's the universe assisting you with what you wanted to learn about yourself. So being able to see that and allowing yourself to take it on and use it. Like the brother said to me that I had abandonment issues, and I said, oh, I never thought about that. I'm going to take that on. I didn't say, well, who are you talking to like that? What are you talking? You don't know me. You don't know I could have did that. Right? Just like Joseph, the lady told him, go get checked for Asperger's. And he was like, no problem. You know what I'm saying? It's your view, right? Like, so like you said, it's the ego. Yeah. So that's very powerful, because the ego really, dissolving the ego is really what we're doing here in its entire existence. And they write it in whole books. The Bible, the Torah, right? The Quran. It's in all the books, how to do this and become more compassionate and loving. Right. That's the reason for us being here. So we go to these schools that are churches and everything, and they give us the manual, but we don't read it, or we don't know how to read it, or we don't understand it to use it to create this new kind of self, right? Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yes, definitely. And even within the, you know, churches, like I know I was raised up in the church, and as much as they give you certain tools, it's also a lot of shame and dogma and separation that I learned in church as well, that I've been climbing out of.
Stuff like that.
Yes. Okay. So, you know, like you say, they're, you know, looking for the truth, you know, my own truth. is really what I'm seeking right now. And you know, everything is relevant and everything is one. So, you know, we're all created equal and we're all one. It is a very beautiful journey of life, and it's getting more beautiful every day.
That's like seeing the beauty and stepping into it and allowing yourself to be one with it.
Yeah.
Is usually what gets you through the rough spots when life is showing you the parts about yourself you don't really want to deal with, or you've been shoving away, or don't want to see, or don't want to accept, right? Because Jaja was here the other week. He said nobody wants to be viewed as a bad person. So we definitely don't want to view ourselves as a bad person. If we're the viewer, we can adjust the lens, right? So that's what a lot of us have been doing, and that's the reason why the blossoming hasn't been able to place, because we keep adjusting the lens in order to not hurt our own feelings or something like that, right? To be more
Very
comfortable.
true.
You know, because growing and blossoming is not always going to be fun, beautiful, comfortable. It's just not. And so a lot of times some people get addicted to being comfortable. And so anything that's not comfortable, they reject it and they don't want to be a part of it. So they try to do everything they can, adjust the lens so they don't see the discomfort or whatever, or tell the other person, you being mean to me, shut up, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, what you think?
Right. And working through adjusting the lens and finding that balance between detachment and not having an ego self that is so reactive, you know. So that's also something that I deal with and try to check in myself, you know, that detachment versus, you know, not over responding or, you know, watching that ego self, you know, watching it, but detaching from the response and trying to balance out the emotions at the same time. It's just a lot because I'm very perceptive, I'm very intuitive, but sometimes it just gets all jumbled up.
But you're a Capricorn like me, right?
Yes.
And I think that's a natural Capricorn traits, believe it or not. There's some things that come with us, like we just made like that, and we can balance it, but they're never going to leave because it's the things that we are. It's just what makes us up. So yeah. So the job is not to erase that, because it's not going to go away. You can spend your whole time wasting your whole time trying to do it. You'll see that that's what just happened. You wasted your whole time.
Right.
Yeah, because they're just things that you are, and and they're important to what you're doing here. So the real thing would be to discover what your purpose is for being here, so that you understand how you are fits into that and helps you to shape it. I'm changing my life, right? I'm reinventing myself because I was a hairdresser for 30 years and 20 of that working in Broadway film and television, okay? And it was fine for me all at that time. And now what I'm being fulfilled by is helping each person that comes to me discover who they are, what they're doing here, what their gifts are, and how they can use those gifts to create abundance through entrepreneurship. Oh, when I'm doing Akashic record readings, that's how I'm discovering this, right? I'm able to see, oh, like this is just how certain people are. We have something called soul groups in my work. And so I see that each soul group is made up of people, souls of a particular characteristic, and that's unchangeable. And those people, you get one soul, it travels with you from lifetime to lifetime. So every time you decide to take on a new journey to come here, you need a physical existence, but the soul inside doesn't change. So all of your memories and experiences and choices are imprinted on there. Okay, and what you are and who you are is imprinted on it. Okay, so it doesn't change. So I'm able to see that and help people to see that, and then the acceptance happens after they realize who they are, and it's not going to change. The acceptance that I see them going through is just beautiful for me. It's gratifying. There's nothing like it. You know, I love doing hair. I love being in the celebrity world and all that. But what I'm doing now, there's no fulfillment like it.
Thank you.
So George, you want to take us out of the call? What you got? You've been quiet the whole time. I'm interested in hearing you.
Okay, so while I was listening to everyone, I was thinking that all of this boils down to just being unapologetically you and being able to just be there however you are and just say, and again, I think last week I talked about it, say, you know, it's about being vulnerable or just allowing yourself to just appear vulnerable, just being there and presenting this is who I am and not be afraid that, oh, someone's not gonna like you or anything like that, because people are not gonna like you and not everyone's gonna like you. If you live your life trying to make sure that everyone likes you, forget about it. You're not gonna have a good life. So I think one way to get to that point is to every morning give yourself a gift. Because if someone gives you a gift, how do you feel? You feel good, right? So in the morning, give yourself a gift. Maybe it's like Morgan has those messages that she has, like looking at yourself in the mirror. I am saying an I am statement that makes you feel good. Anything like that, or looking at yourself in the mirror and take a look at the parts of you that you can fall in love with and start to fall in love with yourself. Because when you do that, it might sound something that's simple and you might think that it might not work or anything like that, but it actually has a big difference when you do that. So I think if you do that, then what it allows you to come in, and when you step into a room full of people or wherever you are, you can step in confidently, knowing that who you are is enough. And then from there, you can go and do whatever you want to do. And I think that that's how you get to step up and say, okay, you know, this is how I'm going to love myself or be myself.
Thank you, George.
That's how I believe that's how you blossom, basically.
I agree. I concur. So anybody have anything before we say goodbye? We're going to declare this call complete.
I have something really, really short. Even though I put it in the chat, I just wanted to remind everybody that we do have these amazing shirts that say, I love you, you matter, you're worthy. And they're actually printed backwards to be legible in the mirror. So it's a message to self. So I just wanted to share that. And I did drop a coupon code in the chat box if anybody's interested. Short and sweet.
I want a shirt that says I matter. I matter. I want that shirt. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah, I have I love you, you matter, you're worthy, and then we have self-love is the best love.
I want self-love is the best love. I want everything.
All right. We have three, and then we have 3 color options for each one. But like I said, there's a coupon code in the chat box for it.
Okay. You put the website in there?
I sure did.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Thank you again for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
I want to say thank you and I love you.
I love you too, Joseph. I'm giving you a big hug. All right, everybody. Thank you. All right. I'll see you next week, hopefully all of you. And you know, it's okay if you would like to share the invitation to the call with someone and you can invite them to come and everything. Don't forget to tell them about the $5 because that's my favorite part. The $5. All right. See you all next week, hopefully. Okay. Bye-bye.